Hi, I'm Darnell Cox with Live Young Lifestyle, and I'm here again with my makeup artist and good friend, Jenny Carl, for another episode of Makeup Chair Chit-Chat. Today, we are talking about primer. So if you're one of those who are like, what the heck is a primer? You're gonna wanna watch this. Let's talk about what exactly do you put on my face, because that's what a lot of our viewers are asking.
We get a lot of questions on our YouTube channel about primers. You know, what primers I use on Darnell, what are good primers, what I would suggest as primers, and what they do. So,
and how much do you put on? Where do you use them?
Yeah, how to apply it.
Right, because there's eye primers, there's face primers,
there's lip primers.
A lot of primers.
There are a lot of primers. So we're just gonna go through all the primers, and we're gonna start out with face primers. So I'm gonna start out with Dermalogica is a great line. It's a little high end, but this will last a while. You're only using a teeny tiny bit. I mean, you're using like...
It's a popcorn kernel.
A popcorn kernel, yeah.
Like a small popcorn kernel.
And then what I like to do is I like to mix. And this one in particular is the Skin Perfect Primer from Dermalogica, which has an iridescence to it. So it's great for someone who has kind of like a dull skin tone, who needs a little glow. So it's great for people that are over the age of 40. And by iridescence, I don't mean glitter or shimmer. I mean, it has a glow to it. So if you have a drier skin, it gives you kind of a dewiness without, you know, having to use oils, which are not good for keeping your makeup on, right? Because that's what primer is for. It helps you keep your makeup on all day, and it keeps your skin from looking, you know, ruddy or your pores from standing out. It just smooths everything. So it not only keeps your makeup on, but it smooths your skin, okay? And color corrects. So that's what primers are. So what I like to do is I mix some of them. So I like to use a little bit of that one. And then this one is the pore reducing. It's called Hydra Blur. And it just blurs your pores, right? So I put a little popcorn kernel of that. And then I put a little popcorn kernel of the redness reducing, which is my favorite primer.
Yeah.
Green reduces red. So if you have rosacea or ruddiness or, you know, just that pink tone to your skin and you want to get rid of it, you put a little bit of the green, and you don't have to use all three. You can choose the one that you like the best, or you can mix only two that you like, or you can just use one. And honestly, you can just take a foundation brush and quickly just put all three, mix them all together, and just apply.
Just paint it on.
And you really just paint it on to the entire face. So now, the Dermalogica primers are wonderful and I love them, but they're at a higher price point. So if you want more of a mid price point primer, there's a great line called Youngblood, and they are cruelty free, they're a mineral line, and they're a little lower of a price point. They have a mineral primer that's just clear. And then they have these really cool ones that I like too, which are CC primers, which are color correcting primers. So you get one in like light, medium, or dark, and it's actually like, you know,
I like the color. I like the color correcting.
I agree too. So it's like the color of your skin, and it really smooths everything out. And you can also add a redness reducing primer to it if you're extra red.
Yeah, but I think this also helps if you're doing a color correcting primer and like you're going to the gym or something and you have all your serums on, you've got your sunscreen on, and you do a color correcting primer, it's a really good way to have like that no makeup.
It is. It's like two products in one, and it really gives, you don't have to use extra foundation. You could just throw on a little
You're not wearing
bronzer.
that thick mask.
So I like these. These are really nice. So here we are. So Youngblood, which is the mineral line I was just talking about, also makes a primer. It's called Stay Put Eye Primer, and it comes in a little compact. You use a little synthetic brush to apply it, and it's nice and smooth. It's very inexpensive. You can get it online. It kind of just looks like a skin tone.
And is that your favorite one, the Youngblood?
This is a good one. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. But there's also these really good ones by NYX. NYX is a brand you can get anywhere. Like you can get it at Target. You can get it.
So what do these run? These are like.
So I would say these run like $10, and they're water resistant. They're a pro brand. Every makeup artist has like NYX. So they have many different ones, and you can order them online as well. And they're really inexpensive. They're water resistant. And super easy to apply. You just need a little synthetic brush, or some people use their fingertips. I mean, if you clean your hands and you want to use your hands to put on your primers and your fingertips to put on your primers, go for it. Just make sure
I've just found out with my fingers, I can't, well, maybe because my nails would poke my eyeballs out, but I can't get right in there close to the lash line.
When you have a brush, you can really just get like underneath and right under the brow, and then you want to make sure it's all blended nicely, and then you can just start applying your makeup.
So now let's like move on to like the lips.
I do prep the lips. I just don't believe in lip primers. I think it's a giant waste of money. They either dry out the lips too much, or they just don't work, in my experience.
Right.
A lip conditioner that that you like, that will absorb nicely. A shea butter is good too. And then what I do is I take a little powder and I just kind of brush a little powder
over the top
top with like a fluffy little brush.
Okay.
And then I actually use the lip liner as my primer. So I take the lip liner and I don't just line the lip, but I fill in the entire lip.
Yeah, I do.
I just fill the whole thing in. So that's what I do, and it helps the lipstick stay on longer. So that's my lip primer. Because you can find lip primers, they're real cheap. I mean, most of them are under $20, and most are under $10.
The lip primers, but they
don't do much of that.
Save the $10 on the lip primer and get the eye primer. That's what I would suggest.
Yes, and a nice neutral lip liner.
Right.
For your to line and fill your lips.
Yeah, perfect. So let's just kind of recap now what we've done. So you started out with a clean face after all of my anti-aging products, and you've primed my entire face with a color correcting primer. We've put the moisturizer on the lips. We've put the primer on the eyes.
Yeah.
So, and does that mean that the makeup that's going to go on the top, we don't have to use as much?
Yes, we won't have to use as much because we've really smoothed the skin out and color corrected, so you won't have to use as much concealer or foundation.
So that goes back to all those videos that we've done on the less is more as you get old, and prepping the skin so that all the makeup stays on, and we've got a really nice canvas to work with. But we're wearing less makeup. And that less is more thing, getting back to how we used to look in our youth, I think that's a really good way to live young.